An Evening at the Movies is a proud member of the I Did Not Make These Rankings podcast network. Other shows in the network include Mass Debaters, The Sip List, Crushgasm, Love is Black, Men Are the Prize, Crime Rewind, and Literature Reboots. You can find out all about our shows and more at idnmtrpodcastnetwork.com. Happy listening. You are now entering the world of a movie review. A world full of drama, joy, ridicule, movie spoilers, unpopular opinions, and adult humor for as far as the eye can see. Welcome to An Evening at the Movies.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to your favorite movie review podcast. This is An Evening at the Movies. I am not John Larroquette, but I am Casey, the host, and the man who likes to eat the stale popcorn, drink the watered down sodas, and discuss all of his favorite movies and why he loves them, as well as along with all of our amazing guests and possibly even the Caribbean Queen herself, once she officially is back on American soil, just stuck in Miami right now for about another half an hour till she gets on the plane to Fort Worth. So, welcome home, co-host, and hurry up and get your butt back here because we've got something special coming up here in a couple weeks. But we're not going to get to that until later in the show. So, with all that said, I am joined by somebody who is a part of that special surprise that we will talk about later in the episode. Welcome back to the show. Chance the Rapper himself, Mr. Chancy Greif, is back. Welcome, sir.
Hi.
I'm like, dude, seriously, don't tell me, like, after all of that intro, my headset cut out and you didn't hear a damn word I said. Because that would be how my day is going right now.
Oh, that's so good. I was like, I'm gonna wait as long as I physically can. And I saw you kind of shift a little bit, and I was like, now.
I literally was about ready to ask, do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Oh shit.
It has been too long since you have been on An Evening at the Movies, and it's only technically even been 6 days because you were here last Saturday for the anniversary episode.
The birth anniversary.
It was a birth anniversary, and for those of you who were not there, you missed out on a whole lot of shenanigans, and the fact that 5 people are probably responsible for Amanda traveling back to the United States in a wheelchair, strapped into a wheelchair, as she said in many group chats, like Hannibal Lecter strapped to a freaking hand truck.
I'll take that. I'll take the heat on that. That's on me. That was actually my specific prediction, but in my head. So like, I'll take the heat. It's on me. Sorry, Amanda.
At the end of the day, we love you, Amanda. We're glad you're home, and hopefully your foot hurries up and gets better so that you don't have to be cooped up in a wheelchair and strapped to a freaking hand truck and all of that. Thankfully, they did not make you do all that with the prescribed metal Hannibal Lecter mask on your face.
I am going to need my $2 though, because I won that bet fair and square.
I mean, realistically, you did. So, but again, definitely welcome back, co-host. We are happy you are home. We are happy that you will be back with us very soon. And as always, you will definitely be with us for Tuesday night when we do another IDN MTR Podcast Network draft episode. You were missed on last week's episode, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit miffed because I came in second place and I lost by that much on a freaking draft that I knew good and hell well my number 1 pick was going to get my guest on this episode's vote. So thank you, Chancy, for understanding the fact that I picked that movie specifically for you.
I didn't know you picked it specifically, but I was like, I think I know who this is.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. if anybody else in our network was going to pick that movie, it would have been Amanda, and Amanda wasn't on the episode. So,
Right?
but the funny part is, though, that is actually a natural segue into potentially a movie we may or may not be discussing in this episode of An Evening at the Movies.
Oh.
But to find out, though, I'm going to turn the microphone over to the greatness that is Chance the Rapper and let him introduce the movie in a fashion that he has created the first time he was on the show and has further developed throughout all the episodes he's been on. So, Chance, what movie are we going to be discussing today, sir?
On the evening of February 16th, 2024, two friends embark on yet another adventure into the macabre franchise known as the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. On this adventure, we begin our reviews of the remakes and the reboots. Join us as we absorb and attempt to digest the first of many of these attempts to capture lightning in a bottle yet again. Will we succeed? Shall we go mad? Join us as we begin our journey going back to the reboots.
You were worried, and that actually was a very well done, well thought out intro. You are getting a lot better at doing this, sir.
I appreciate you saying that, but I don't know. Last night I was writing it down and I was like, God, that looks really stupid.
I don't think it was at all. But at the end of the day, it may not be necessarily John Larroquette level.
No, but
So,
then again, it's John
uh,
Larroquette.
true. Um, my initial question for the fact that we are talking about this movie um, would be that I am curious as to whether or not um, John Larroquette's salary was comparable to what he made for the original.
Oh no, I'm guessing he came back and got that bag because it wasn't exactly like he was doing a favor to like Toby or something.
He made that green.
Nah.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, um, urban legend, wives' tale,
Allegedly.
ac- allegedly, actual, factual. I don't think it necessarily needs to be as much hidden in today's society as much as it did back then because most of the country has legalized it. But I mean, rumor has it that back in the early 70s when Toby was making this movie, John Larroquette was paid in green stuff, but not green paper, if you catch my drift. And all that for not very much work because he wasn't in a whole hell of a lot of that movie. Well, he wasn't in the movie. His voice was in the movie, but you know, I digress. So, but yes, hats off to Michael Bay, who I don't know why, but up until this rewatch of this movie, I thought Michael Bay actually directed this movie, and he didn't. He was actually just a producer on the movie.
There's not enough explosions.
That's actually a very good reason as to why Michael Bay is not the director of this movie. I mean, had there been, then yeah, there probably would be. I don't think there was any explosions in this movie, by the way.
Nope.
I feel ripped off. Even a Michael Bay produced movie should have at least one explosion. Uh-huh. Maybe that thought might pop up when we get to the review portion of the show. I don't know,
Yes.
but there's still an awful lot of episode to get to before we get to that. So, obviously, really quick, as everybody knows, we all know you guys have been here for most of the 200 plus episodes of the show so far. So you know what the deal is. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Jessica Biel-Style, otherwise known as Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I almost said 2023, 2003, was
Yes.
released on October 17th, 2003. Directed not by Michael Bay, but Marcus Nispel.
Mm. Some guy did a bunch of commercials or something.
Probably, and or he maybe he smoked a lot of weed in college with Michael Bay, and Michael Bay is like, "Hey, why not do this project together over the course of one summer, and we'll smoke some weed, make a movie, and release it, and hope to God that it sticks and the viewers like it, and we'll speak well of it." Possibility?
You
I
know,
don't know.
I could see that in some of the scenes. It definitely seems like somebody got a little bit high and wandered off.
Yeah, the, we'll get to that. I'm still not even halfway through with the background information yet, though. Was released by New Line Cinema, had
Mhm.
a $9.5 million budget. Here's the
Hmm.
number that freaking threw me off big time.
Okay.
Had a box office. Would you like? Oh, no, no, no. Okay. Guess what the box office was for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Jessica Biel-Style.
Okay. So if you're surprised about it, and it didn't sound like a disappointed surprise either. So
I'm not saying
I know. I know. Give me a I'm gonna give you. Give me a range. All right. I'm gonna say like.
$0 and 200 million.
I'm gonna say like in between 100 million and 110 million.
Son of a fucking bitch.
Fuck off.
No, seriously, 100%. $107.4 million. You literally were off by 2.6 million. You were in the range, but if you go by the back end of your assessment,
Right.
you were literally off by $2.6 million.
God damn.
Like literally
I'm
a
getting. I'm getting
weekend's worth
better.
of a weekend's worth of ticket sales in like San Francisco, California, probably.
I I don't know. I
Okay,
thought I usually suck at that.
you really, you really do, as well as one of the next ones coming up. But before we get to that one, though, for those of you who are interested in all the math and all of that geniusness, um, we are doing a better job at bringing back one of our old school factoids. And as far as inflation goes, from 2003 to um,
Today.
2024, yeah, 2024, um, $107.4 million would basically translate to about $180 million. So not really a horrible box office by any stretch of the imagination, considering the fact that they spent $9.5 million to make the movie.
Right.
So that's a hell of a damn profit, in my opinion. That's a big cat you have in your hand, Chancy.
I know. Right.
Are you ready for your favorite segment, though?
I don't know. I'm gonna probably shit the bed on this one because I fucking got close enough on the
uh,
first one.
yeah, you were pretty much spot on with the first one. Um, so, as everybody knows, an evening at the movies and the I Did Not Make These Rankings podcast network does not endorse or fully support or does not accept any sponsorship or any legal whatevers from this critical website. As a matter of fact, we have coined a certain phrase that goes along with this website, and that is officially "fuck you, Rotten" or "fuck Rotten Tomatoes," because Rotten Tomatoes
Yeah.
sucks ass and very rarely ever gets this shit right. But
You're not wrong.
I really am not wrong, and it's come up a few times in the last probably month and a half. But you go back and look at the fact that um, a movie that came out in 1984, the original Terminator,
Hmm.
got a perfect score on Rotten Tomatoes, 100%.
Okay.
Which the original Terminator is not a bad movie. I do not hate it by any stretch of the imagination. Here's my problem though. Terminator 2, which I personally deem as a way better movie than the original Terminator,
Ooh,
got
I
a
mean,
90% got a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes.
okay.
I'm willing to accept the fact that, you know, some people may agree with me, some people may disagree with me on the two. I'm fine with that. Is realistically there a 10% gap between the two movies? I don't
No.
think so. So, again, our motto, and I should literally get a tattoo across my fucking back that says "fuck Rotten Tomatoes."
Or like a soundboard where you can hit a button and it'll be like, fuck Rotten Tomatoes.
I mean, I could probably get Kevin to record that and send it to me, and then I
Yup.
could have it on the little sound clip thing on the side of my
Yup.
screen. Uh-huh. Chance the Rapper is not just a freaking hat rack. He has great ideas all the freaking time as well. So, no
I
more
do what I
delaying.
can.
No more delaying. No more stalling. He's had time to formulate his opinion. He knows what's coming.
I know.
As far as Rotten Tomato goes, sir, would you like to wager a guess as to what you think their critical, spot on assessment of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003 was?
Like the audience or the critics or.
I didn't write the audience one down. I just wrote the critics one down.
Okay. Oh, dude, critics have been shitting on fucking these movies since the beginning of time.
I do know though, and although didn't write it down, the audience score was not that different than the critic score. It was like 4% difference, and the audience was actually 4% lower than Rotten Tomatoes audience score
Uh,
or the critic
I don't
score.
know. 30, 40%.
37% on 159 rating, 159 reviews.
I'm gonna have to go and buy me a lottery ticket. That's fucking
That's.
ridiculous.
I feel like we'll definitely be getting deeper into this subject as we progress, because at the end of the day, um, I'm not so sure the critics were 100% accurate with their assessment. I'm not saying they're 100% wrong either by any stretch of the imagination. But that's why we are here for this episode, though, is we're going to deeply and with all of our horror loving hearts assess the wonderment that is New Line's version of a Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Oh,
Yes.
also, it is not available to stream for free anywhere. If you want to watch it, you're gonna have to freaking pay $3.99 to get it, or you're gonna have to go buy the DVD or Blu-ray
Yep.
somewhere.
That's what I
Uh,
did. It was
These
only
are all.
like but it was like $6.
I bought it when it first came out, so I actually got the big collector's edition that like literally like unfolds,
With
and
all the
it has
police set with the cop pictures and shit.
eh, two discs, and it has like a big, actually fairly thick stack of police crime scene photos as
Yep,
well.
I remember that.
So I have them actually put up somewhere because I don't want to lose that shit, because that actually is pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's a good way of marketing your collector's edition movie that
Right.
realistically, at the end of the day, a lot of people may not have gone and seen or bought the DVD because it's a remake, and people tend to have very polarizing opinions on the quality of said remakes.
Right.
I do. We've had this discussion numerous times on the show, especially when it
Right.
comes to, you know, certain horror franchises that may or may not be getting discussed in a couple weeks, but Amanda will kick me in the ass for if I say bad things about, because
Right?
it's not number one. It is number two. But that's for a different day. Um, so, briefly, if you guys haven't watched this version of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I think it's pretty easily summed up with with the description of you have a van of young adults traveling to a Leonard Skinner concert. By the way, pause,
Yeah.
pause, pause,
Yeah.
pause, pause,
Nah.
pause. We're not getting
Cause
past this one without putting a
they
pause in discussion for this one.
they have the same screen crawl at the very beginning of the movie with John Larroquette on the afternoon of August 18, 1973. They're listening to fucking dude, they're listening to fucking Freebird.
No, they're listening to Sweet Home Alabama.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, sorry, Sweet Home Alabama. You're right. Which
So
doesn't matter because it came out like what the these motherfucking. I could have gotten away from it with it too if it wasn't for these goddamn meddling time traveling children. What the fuck, man?
so here's the whole point. Like literally, this movie is set in 1973, and for those of you who do not, I had never put two and two together, but off on a whim, I was I rewatched the movie today, and I was rewatching it again last night. And as soon as you hear them listening to Sweet Home Alabama over the damn stereo in the
The
van,
yeah,
the redneck national anthem, by the way, because whenever that song comes on, a whole bunch of rednecks get up on the freaking dance floor and they woohoo and throw their hats in the air and start doing a country line dance. But not complaining, not judging. But to get to my point, though, Sweet Home Alabama was released in 1974, people, and the movie set in 1973. Do some research and don't have continuity issues like that because that's just
yeah,
blatantly
dude.
obvious.
I was
It's
fucking. I
not
was,
that hard.
dude. My redneck radar went off because like I heard that shit going off and I was like, dude, that's not right. Something about this ain't right. Why is this not right? And then I fucking
I knew it was close. I didn't think it was like a whole. It was released in '79 and they used it, but I knew it was. It felt like I think that was released maybe 74, 75. I googled it last night. 1974.
I know it's like what the fuck, you guys? Come
You
on,
people.
man.
I mean, I can get like if it was a direct sequel to Next Generation, and the fact that this is probably what 10 years ish after Texas Chainsaw McConaughey was released, and there was story issues that didn't quite, scissors together
Right?
and mesh up exactly right. Because damn it, this thought that I just put in my head is having me scared of shit for July. But we'll get to that at the end of the episode. We're talking about Texas Chainsaw, not that movie that comes out on July 3rd. But how the story doesn't always match up because over the course of time certain elements get forgotten and it's like, oh well, they did that, and then oh well, that doesn't match up. When it happened with Lucas when he went all the way back in time and did the Star Wars prequels,
Yep.
it it's not an uncommon thing in Hollywood period to have happen. So it is what it is. But something so blatantly, pretty sure Google wasn't as much of a thing back then,
Right.
but they had Yahoo searches back then, so there was search engines on the internet. It wouldn't be hard. You could have found another just as big of a freaking redneck hit. That I mean, okay, so it doesn't match up that they're going to a Leonard Skinner concert. Okay, so change the damn concerts that they're going to. Cat Stevens, freaking, whatever. There's plenty of freaking 70s rock icons that you could have freaking taken and picked.
Frank fucking Zappa.
Exactly. And it would have been just as iconic. And at the same time, you probably had to pay royalty fees to have Sweet Home Alabama in that
Oh,
movie.
you know they did. They had to.
But you could have probably gone with somebody like a Frank Zappa or Cat Stevens or whatever, and probably gotten away with a little bit less of a damn royalty fee that you would have had to pay to have the song in the movie.
Hmm.
Would it have been as recognizable? Maybe not. But it's
Depends
still
on the song.
depends upon the song though too. I mean,
I
you
mean,
could have
shit.
had freaking.
They could have. Oh my god. They could have probably even done fucking "Don't Fear the Reaper"
I Don't Fear the Reaper is 100% a classic horror movies freaking song.
trope. Yeah, you're right. That might have been too much.
I maybe, but at the same time, it's like I'm not gonna lie. When that guitar hits at the start of that freaking song, I don't care what the hell movie it is. I get happy in my soul
I
just
got it.
because I love that song.
I got it. The fucking zombies. Fucking spooky.
Ooh, see, I told you guys freaking what 25 minutes ago. He's not just a hat rack, people. He's got great ideas. So definitely hats off. So definitely big plot hole with the whole freaking um, time traveling children back in 1973 because Doc Brown hadn't even discovered that you could drive 88 miles an hour and go back in time, at least for
Yeah.
another 12 years. So,
Right?
on you, Michael Bay, and your script writers and directors for screwing it up that bad. But, so,
But since we're talking about the plot hole with the radio and them being in the van, we can then this is also a good segue option for like when I first watched it, it ended up being like my favorite fucking scene in the entire movie when they picked up the hitchhiker. Because, you know, in the first one, you got the hitchhiker, the brother, and that wasn't the same. So I'm like, oh, okay, they're going to try and do something new. We got an interesting dynamic here. And then they pull into the gas station or get ready to go pull into the gas station or whatever. Yeah, they would pull into the gas station.
mm,
And, or no, they pull into town when it happens. And then she fucking produces this firearm from the nether regions of a pocketless fucking outfit. And then
uh-huh.
and then decided the inside of her head was a little too hot, so it needed some fresh fucking air. I have two fucking questions. One, how the fuck did it
Two?
not fall out? Yeah, oh yeah. One, how did it not fall out while she was walking from all of the blood? Two, if that's actually the case, then somebody call that woman and get her a job cutting diamonds. She could cut the Hope fucking diamond. But
Yeah,
for real though,
literally,
when that
because
fuck
I'm not even trying to get overly graphic, but I would imagine even for a gun that probably had a, you know, sizable circumference of a barrel, or
she had
diameter,
to get to the
whatever it was.
she had to get to the revolver chamber. Otherwise, I
Well,
mean,
yeah, that's the other thing you have to think about too. Even if she's tight like that, the sheer
that dress
weight of a gun
and that dress
literally
wasn't
go
exactly
up
that long.
and then stay. No, exactly, and to go up and stay there while she's walking down the freaking road. Oh dear Lord, Jesus, fix it!
I told I told you it was risky. I told you. But for real though, like for fuck's sake,
Oh
fucking
no,
diamond cutter.
no, and you Was this the quote unquote half in the cup or half in the
half out
pocket,
of
half out of the
yeah,
pocket?
half out of the pocket. Yeah, because like
I
for
get
real
where the
though.
half in the pocket and half out of the pocket comes from. Literally, half in, half out.
But
Oh my god, I can't
like
believe I just went there.
yep. But like I said, with the short as that dress is, dude, she had to have gone all the way to the revolver cylinder,
Yeah,
which
no, you could. Yeah, if it's for lack of a better term, just the tip. God, that was a fucking bad joke. Um, yeah, that
it just ain't gonna cut it.
anybody in their anybody in their right mind is gonna see that shit. Like, why does
And
your
then when
junk look like a freaking revolver?
and then when she ventilated the back of her head, like in that when they in this the way they shot that, and then the whole like after the fact how they panned the camera back through the hole in her head, and then she just flops her head back, and everybody starts freaking the fuck out. When I first saw that movie, I got super stoked. Like I was really hesitant about watching it because obviously I'm a huge fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan. So I figured I went to it pretty. I was going into it pretty bitter. I was like, "This is gonna fucking suck. I'm gonna fucking hate this. This is dumb. I don't know why I do this. I don't know why I even agreed to do this." And then that scene happened, and I was like, "Oh shit, I could be wrong, and that's fucking awesome."
So we kind of sort of talked about this shit. This fall it'll be 2 years since we recorded that first episode. Holy crap! Um, but going into a movie named Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you have to expect a certain level of violence and gore
Right,
that realistically, at the end of the day, Toby probably could have gone a lot more extreme than he did back then.
well, they wanted to
I
give him
think
an
he
X
did.
rating as it was. They wanted to give him an X rating for no gore at all.
Yeah, exactly. And we actually yesterday recorded an episode where we discussed another um, classic. Is it a horror movie? Is it not a horror movie? I'm going to particularly call it a thriller, not a horror movie. But from around the same time as the original TCM came out, but we talked about Steven Spielberg's vision of a shark classic called Jaws that literally minimally showed you any kind of gore for the better part of an hour and 50 minutes of a 2 hour and 6 minute long movie,
Right,
and drastically, significantly hurt um, the activity level of people going out in the ocean and go swimming because nobody
right.
wanted to go in the water after seeing that movie. And at the end of the day, Spielberg, like I said, up until the last 10, 15 minutes of the movie, you never really saw the damn shark at all. And in a lot of ways, Toby was the same way when he was creating his masterpiece, being the original Chainsaw. You know, psychologically, a lot of what's going on in the settings and whatever and all of that, and you can hear certain things, but at the same time, you didn't necessarily get slapped and paintbrushed it across the face every 5 minutes with a visual depiction of what was going on.
That's
Whether
true.
well, I mean, Franklin, but I digress.
No,
Yeah, that would
not
have been
really
totally
though.
deserved.
He totally had it coming. That was another thing I
He
thought
did
was kind
have
of
it
dumb
coming.
too. Like, where the fuck's the Franklin in this movie?
Yeah, I mean, the characters definitely don't have the same names going through
It's
this
like
movie as they
fucking.
did the first time out. But
It's like a
generally,
van
you can
full.
depict Well, yeah, I was gonna say Jessica Biel obviously is the Sally
The
character.
Survivor girl.
You know, yeah, the final girl. Um,
Yeah, that one.
yeah, the pretty boy Ashton Kutcher fucking ripoff, and that's what I'm gonna call him from now on. Is realistically Eric Balfour always felt like a kind of sort of 1990s pretty boy movie star, and then they kind
Okay,
of
yeah.
sort of dirtied him, rednecked him up for this movie, and he kind of sort of had a the truck driver hat on, freaking had a Ashton Kutcher look to him.
Hmm.
So I'm just gonna call him a poor man's Ashton Kutcher ripoff from now on.
Fair enough.
But I mean, you can each member of the van community had you could kind of sort of see different elements of characters from the original movie.
The smart guy.
But like
The
Chancy
smart
said,
guy's the
the
Franklin.
Franklin.
The
Yeah,
smart
but he
guys,
wasn't
I
a
guess,
whiny
would
little
be the
bitch like
Franklin.
Franklin was.
I know, but that's my. I mean, that's my point as far as where's the Franklin. But if we're taking them all and juxtapositioning them, but still, I was actually thinking to myself, it's like a van full of kids got lost on their way to Crystal Lake and ended up driving through Texas. That's what it really reminded me of.
Yeah, I mean, not that it's a bad thing. Almost would have laid the groundwork for Jason versus Leatherface
Which would have
crossover.
been awesome.
I'm not
It
gonna
would have been.
lie. I would probably be more on board for that than I was for Freddy versus Jason.
They should have done like a Freddy versus Pinhead, and then like a three-way battle royal with like Jason and then Leatherface and then Michael Myers.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I don't know who would win that fight. That it. I think I'm going to add a poll to this episode when I release it on Spotify. Who would win a three-way Texas death match? We're going to call it
I like it.
for any wrestling fans know that there is actually a legitimate wrestling match out there that is called a Texas death match, but it ties into the whole Leatherface aspect. But so, who
Yeah.
would win in a three-way Texas death match between Leatherface, Michael Myers, and Jason Voorhees? Hashtag Chancy's co-host on Maniacal Music Musifications will vote for Jason. So Jason's already up 1-0. Not saying that he's right
I
by any stretch of imagination, because he's not. But
I'd put my money on Michael Myers, honestly. That's where I'd put
yeah,
my
I'm torn
money.
between. I, I'm glad that this episode isn't releasing for a couple weeks, and I have a couple weeks to think about it because I'm torn between Michael and Leatherface. But
I think
I'll leave my
Leatherface would
reason.
have the
I'll leave my.
best. I was gonna say I
Go
think
ahead.
Leatherface has the best chance at like taking Jason apart piece by piece, but I think after that Mike could catch him sleeping. Like he'd just be on his way trying to find somebody with that dugga 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 dugga, and you just walk up behind him and just give him the old fucking hiya,
Yeah,
pick him up.
probably a very good assessment of the situation. But
Michael's smart
like
enough
I
to
said,
know
I
to
will
let the
post.
two big dogs fight and then pick up. I got you.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, you don't always have to be directly involved in the fight from the opening bell. Sometimes it's best to hang back and let half, 2/3, whatever of the equation battle it out and wear each other out, and then you sweep in and clean up the scraps. 1, 2, 3, you're going to WrestleMania, and you got a damn main event spot for the title.
The dirtiest player in the game.
Woo! So,
Woo!
um, so yeah, long rabbit hole or long tangent to go off of on the fact that we haven't even fully described the whole plot of the movie. But okay, so yeah, you basically have a van full of teenage, oh, not full, kind of full, not full, a van of young adults traveling to a Leonard Skinner concert. I won't go back down that road again because that's reopening a can of worms. But
Hmm.
ultimately, at the end of the day, they have vehicular issues and have to deal with um, about 90 minutes of experiences dealing with the Hewitt family.
That was
I
another
feel
point of
like that's a
contention of mine. It's a fucking goddamn travesty because they're Sawyers. They're the fucking Sawyers.
yeah, that was actually going to be my next question that I was going to get to. So thank you for ripping off that band-aid as well. But uh,
Sorry.
I think that was no, you're awesome. Uh, I think that was a pretty good summation of the whole plot of the movie because let's be honest, it's Texas Chainsaw. It's not that complicated. It's not Citizen
Right?
Kane, people.
How about fucking Arlie Ermery
It's
though,
a.
huh?
I'm not gonna lie. He is a freaking cinematic treasure. I don't care what movie he's in, what movies rip off his character type, whatever the case. I mean, I loved him in Full Metal Jacket.
Oh yeah.
I loved him in.
The
I don't
Frighteners.
think I've seen him in a bad movie. Frighteners. I don't think I've seen him in a bad movie. Honestly, not gonna lie.
I
He plays the
fucking
perfect ultimate dick.
did you know that a lot of his lines in this movie were just ad lib?
I feel like that's when he's at his best, though.
Oh, for sure. I mean, and on top of that, I mean, they saw that how well it worked when they did it in Full Metal Jacket. So I mean,
Mhm.
I know I would. I'd be like,
That's how
"Hey,
you know you have.
do your thing, man."
That, that's how you know you have a really talented actor. Is if you can basically give them an outline of the scene and then just yell action and let them go, and you end up with cinematic masterpieces all over the freaking place.
I
I
honestly
can
got
name
to say
several
that.
actors. If I was, I can think of several actors. If I was a director, that I would let do that. Like Eddie Murphy back in the '80s when he was at his height for popularity and he was out on the road doing stand up all the damn time.
Hmm.
Clearly a prime example of that. Johnny Depp as a
Yep.
actor as well, and even probably even Tom Hanks. Even Robin Williams, prime
Yeah.
example of being able to do that. And I, the
For
problem with
sure.
having Robin Williams do that though, you aren't going to know for 1 minute. You can give Robin all the direction for the scene that he needs to do what he does, but he's going to freaking do what Robin's going to do, and you may have to completely rewrite the whole damn story to match up with what Robin's going to do when he improvs.
Right.
So
I think
you were
I
going to
think
make a
this is
point.
my
Go ahead.
favorite. Yeah, I think this is my favorite character that I've ever seen him play, Arlie Ermy, because he's always
Yeah,
portrayed as like the drill sergeant, somebody of that kind of stature, ilk, prominent member of the I never saw him in anything other than that, and I really loved how he was able to show his range and just be himself basically because he always that's kind of basically the character he always played was him, but like if he was in this type of mindset and scenario kind of shit, it was great.
the thing I love is when he goes when he literally goes off the rail and goes deep, deep, deep off the rail, he is. I don't care how many times I've seen this movie. It's creepy. It's scary. It's like you legitimately feel like when he pulls the girls out of the freaking van, truck,
Yep.
van,
Van.
whatever, van. You know where I'm going with this. And he's got them face down in the dirt, and he's going off on them, firing their gun into the ground, literally bullets whizzing past their freaking ears, and going off and literally yelling at them, berating them. But I am scared for their damn life. I'm like, what the hell are
Yeah.
you doing? And how bad are you going to freaking make it before you end up killing these two? I, at some point, the first time I watched it, I wasn't even sure there was going to be a final girl because I wasn't sure Jessica Biel was going to freaking make it.
Yeah. That's valid.
And I'm not going to lie either. I think I would put Jessica Biel and her Scream Queen vocals almost on the same level as even the great, probably greatest Scream Queen of all time, Jamie
Don't
Lee
you
Curtis,
say it.
as
Don't you
well.
say it. I disagree.
I'm not going to say that she's better.
I think that the other girl, the uh the friend that only
Piper,
knew the other person,
Pepper,
yeah, Piper.
Pepper, Pepper, whatever. No, it's Pepper because I
Peter,
remember thinking,
yeah,
so why isn't her boyfriend Salt? And then you can have Salt and Pepper in the van and
right?
scissor.
But like
Salt.
she had a hell of a set of pipes on her.
Neither of the two of them is bad by any stretch of the imagination
That's
at
valid.
all.
That's valid.
And all it does is help create a different level of creepy eeriness to the movie that the amped up level of gore and violence that you get in this movie as well helps create because there's a lot of stuff that goes on in this movie that you wouldn't have seen 30 years earlier in the original.
That's true. That's valid.
And
Yeah,
like I
that's
said,
for sure.
it's not as it's not as like psychological as the original Toby Hooper movie was.
Hmm.
And I'm not gonna lie, the juicy sound effects that you get from all the violence, especially the first couple times watching the movie, made my stomach freaking go in freaking circles. I'm like, if you're trying to make me want to throw up, you're doing a pretty good job of it, people.
I just thought of another plot hole.
Uh huh.
Aha.
Okay.
So okay, you know how uh uh fucking Ashton Kutcher from Wish when he dies, right? The stereotypical sliding door, hit him in the head bullshit. Okay, here's my fucking problem with this, okay? Do you remember what was happening when that shit was going on? Jessica fucking Biel was trying to pick up Grandpa Stubby off the fucking floor after he was draining his fucking shit bag, right? Okay? He's walking around the house. He's like, "Hey, Jessica Biel, where are you? You mean to tell me you can't fucking hear in any house, no matter where the fuck you are? That house is old. It's not like it's made out of fucking soundproof insulation. You can't hear this girl struggling to try and pick up fucking Grandpa Stumpy nuts fucking while he's copping every sense of the word copping a feel. You can't fucking hear her in this goddamn house, and you're just gonna wander the fuck around and like, oh, I wonder what that done. Oh, bam, I'm fucking dead. Caw, bang, fuck, I'm dead. Sorry, I that one that real it
I was
fucking it.
I appreciate the reference to the my favorite movie of all time.
It's one of my favorite things to say. Really, caw caw bang, fuck, I'm dead. I would have said it more often. I just did, or like some dude, some bitch, whatever. I love that one too. Fucking Tintin's fucking
Yeah,
bullshit.
that movie is so fucking quotable.
It is really feeling like a little worm on a big fucking hook. Anyway, but like
Guess it's not a good day to be a
for
bad guy, huh, Skank?
but for real though, how are you not gonna fucking hear that shit? And fucking,
Well, that's
that
it's
really
like the whole
fucking
thing with being in a wheelchair and literally pounding on the floor as he's going off on the two. You know, I don't remember exactly what the damn line was. You know what? You know the scene I'm talking about, though.
yeah, I know exactly what
He's
you're
like,
talking
boom,
about.
boom. He's basically calling
Leatherface.
Thomas.
Oh yeah,
Well,
fuck.
yeah, we'll go with Leatherface because we're not going with the revamped different character names because
I will never refer to
seriously,
him
they
as
both
anything
they
other
both
than
suck.
fucking Leatherface. Sons of
I almost got to
bitches.
wonder if they got partial rights to the entity and not 100% the rights. So that's
That
why
makes
the names
sense.
and faces are changed to protect the innocent.
Fucking no one's innocent
Still
in this
doesn't. Okay,
goddamn
okay, but
atrocity.
still, no. But I mean, it still doesn't excuse the fact if you didn't get 100% of the rights, then don't remake the fucking movie and wait until you can get 100% of the rights, so that you don't have to shit all over it by changing the names and faces to protect the innocent. And like Chancy said, there is no innocence in that aspect of the movie. So, but
You
no,
know
I
what?
mean that's the whole. It's like literally pounding on the floor like that with his little cane walker walking stick thing.
Which fucking he's
That
got no
literally
legs in a chair. What
Leatherface.
the fuck's he? What's he using the cane for? He ain't got no fucking legs.
Yeah, exactly. But like literally, the way that house is built, Leatherface could literally be anywhere in the freaking house. And once you start to hear that thump, 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 and it rhythmically starts picking up the pace as that moment is drawing near. So it's like you two are fucking morons for the fact that you got a sense that something's going on, like thump, 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 and it's like, um, why have you not ran over this guy in a wheelchair and run out the fucking door?
Right?
Saying,
Like
but no,
like
let's stand there and wait for somebody to come out of freaking nowhere behind you, grab you, and take you into a freaking den of juicy violence and kill you.
but then since we're talking about the death and the torture and the fucking and the cool shit, uh
there's one
well,
in particular
okay.
that really freaking yeah. But I'll let you
So for
go
me,
where you're going to go with your
I,
story.
I I absolutely loved the addition of the fucking rock salt.
Yeah.
Like abso-fucking-lutely. Like for me, it's a whole lot of peaks and valleys with this movie. Like there's peaks where I love shit like Early Ermery fucking, oh, that's fucking awesome, and then fucking they shit to bed with fucking Sweet Home Alabama and fucking all that other dumbass shit like a guy can't hear anybody fucking 3 rooms over
Rock
picking up
salt.
somebody. Fucking rock salt.
Yeah. Rock
Fucking
rock salt.
the rest of the
Hewitt
movie.
family. Hewitt family.
And fucking yeah, Hewitt family and the rest of the movie. Just fucking it. The idea is for the roller coaster to go down the hill really fast and then stop so you can get off of the ride, not just fucking go all the way down until it crashes into the fucking ground. Because I mean, for fuck's
Yeah.
sake, like,
We're going to get to that here in a
go
few
ahead.
minutes, but definitely, yeah. Oh no, well, we'll
Oh
get to that
man,
when the review portion. Here, but I I think one moments that really makes me squirm. I don't care how many times I see it, though, is the obvious obligatory meat hook scene.
yeah, that's
Or
the same with the
a
fucking
giant
rock
hook.
salt.
Yeah, with the yeah, and it's like "Eh." I mean, every time I see it, it's like I literally squirm and contort into like because you can almost you get the visual and then you get the sound effect that goes with it, and it's like, "Ugh." But they definitely did not hold back on that element at all with this movie. I mean, the level of psychology to the horror is pretty much non-existent.
Right.
They're like, I'm sure I don't remember exactly when it came out, but you got to assume this is around the same time as we got a little horror franchise by the name of Saw, where they pushed the envelope a little bit with that as well. I don't have my yeah, I'm not grabbing that to look it up, but um, it it's right in that window of when all the torture porn stuff,
Oh yeah, like Hostel
Hostel,
and yeah,
all of that
yeah,
came out, where you know a lot of graphic, bloody, uncomfortable horror was being produced.
yeah,
I would probably throw this in that same category as well, because there's definitely more of a level of visual, graphic, and auditory
yeah.
horror
You're not
that
you're
you
not
get.
100%
Um,
wrong. Yeah, they
Not necessarily
were
saying that it's a bad thing per se, but it's definitely different.
right.
So,
Yeah, I honestly like fucking the biggest disappointment for me on this whole fucking thing is like
mhm.
who. So you're meaning to tell me that fucking really she cut through the humerus? She cuts through the motherfucking she cuts through his fucking she cuts his fucking arm off halfway up the bicep with a fucking meat cleaver. You and I couldn't fucking do that shit. Okay? No.
You gotta have freaking. I'm not gonna lie, like Dwayne Johnson, freaking upper body strength probably to be able to pull that off.
Maybe. And you're not gonna do it fucking well, she didn't do it in one swing, I guess, but like still though, man. And then fucking like for me the found footage shit felt too much like it was trying to rip off Blair Witch Project and fucking try and add a new twist to the story and it I mean it just kind of pissed me off. I liked it when they did it in the beginning of the movie when they outlined a lot of the shit like when old boy was getting drugged down the stairs and they broke his hand and he broke his fingernails off. I liked how at the beginning of the movie it showed
Uh,
the cop kind of going down the stairs and he's like, "Oh, blah 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 blah." But you mean to fucking tell me that these cops are down there and fucking this guy comes up out of nowhere and
yeah, that
uh,
yeah. I was actually going to ask the whole. Was there something about the movie that you didn't like? And my
yes,
one probably biggest complaint about this movie was going to be the complete and utter 100% ripoff of the Blair Witch Project ending, because
for
literally, like
real.
you were saying, they're coming like okay, so the movie starts and you get this found footage type opening that they're coming down the stairs into the
The
basement
basement.
boiler room, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah, yeah, that's what
and
he called it. It's the furnace room. Like, fuck you, it's a basement.
he gets like halfway down the stairs and then all of a sudden it stops. Revelation of the claw marks in the wall, and then
Hmm.
all of a sudden it stops and the movie starts. Which okay, fine.
Yeah,
It's like
that's
okay,
cool.
that's the end of the found footage. But then all of a sudden you get to the end of the movie, and the movie stops out of nowhere, and the found footage picks right back up, and he back down the stairs, blah, 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 blah. Walks around the corner, bam, right into freaking Leatherface and gets killed. It's like, okay, so it's basically like the one dude from Blair Witch. The chick comes down the stairs or goes up the stairs,
Yeah,
down the stairs, down the stairs.
down the stairs.
I haven't seen
Because
that
she
movie in so
goes,
fucking long.
she goes in the basement as well. So,
Yeah,
or the
and
furnace room, as that fucking asshole called it. Like fucking
yeah,
furnace room. It's a
it's a
fucking
basement.
basement.
And yeah, the Heather chick goes down the stairs in the Blair Witch Project to find that her weirdo film crew
Colleague.
colleague, whatever you want to call him, is standing in the corner looking away, like the wives' tale said that they used to do with the kids, so that he didn't have to feel the eyes on him. And then she starts screaming because she realizes what's going on, and then he kind of sort of turns around and bam, she gets taken out, and it's like, okay, well, end of the movie. Same thing with
Right?
Texas Chainsaw. He walks around the corner, bam, right into freaking Leatherface.
Right?
Literally lays there as you get the moment of this is the only known footage of leather or only known picture of Leatherface. Blah 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 blah.
Yep.
And blackout, roll the credits, and it's like fucking
You
really.
know,
And then you don't even follow it up with more. You literally go back in time with the next movie to
dude,
the beginning.
you know what really disappointed me the most? I keep saying this, but like I keep thinking of shit, and I'm like, man, that's so
The
disappointing.
the creative liberties.
Well, there's that. But for me, do you know what that movie really was needing that it just didn't have?
Chop top.
Look what your brother did to the door!
Yes. And
It didn't have the cook. The extended family I thought was kind of neat. You know what, dude? Fuck that. Because it's kind of like the fucking Hills Have Eyes meets fucking the Blair fucking Witch meets fucking Friday the 13th with a fucking just enough chainsaw oil for it to be called fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
and spoiler alert, The Hills Have Eyes reboot came out right about the same time as well. And by the way, I
They
did look,
fucking did.
and I also did look it up. Approximately 54 weeks after this movie came out was when the original Saw came out. So
Fair
October
enough.
17th, 2003. I believe it was October 27th,
Oh, 4.
2004. So, so yeah, it's right in that window of the graphic, blah 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 blah. And by the way, that Hills Have Eyes freaking reboot, my skin crawls watching that damn thing. It does with the original movie as well. Rest in peace, Wes Craven. You are an icon who we will be discussing in length for an entire month in a little over a year. So, but I'll get to that next year when we get closer.
Oh, dude, we got to put Shocker on that list.
Um, Shocker, definitely. The Hills Have Eyes.
Oh, for sure. Last House on the Left, fucking
Last House on the
Scream,
Left. Uh,
Nightmare.
so, spoiler alert: Nightmare is going on the schedule. It's the only thing that I'm 100% sure is definitely going on the schedule for that month, but it is going on the schedule on a specific date
Oh, okay.
because next October or next August is the 10-year anniversary of
Oh, I gotcha.
Wes's death,
I gotcha.
and
I gotcha. Well, then you could just do New Nightmare.
we have time to come up with a plan for how we want to approach that specific day
I
because
got you, bud.
I want to do something special on the official 10th anniversary.
No, I'm
To
saying like this time around, not the next time around.
true, either
So
way
that way
works.
you could keep your idea intact that you have now, and then still get an appropriate Wes Craven wow, sorry, forgive me, it's the shirt. Uh, Wes Craven Nightmare on Elm Street in the list for the Craven Fest for this year.
True,
Aha.
we still have plenty of time. Not just a hat rack.
My head is
I will
too
continue
big
to say
for
that until I'm.
hats.
I feel like there is a potential M Cube joke in that, but I'm going to let it go and not go down that road. So, you know where you
I
know where the
was
joke was going.
I was actually just commenting on the fact that my head's literally so big I look weird wearing hats.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I have the same issue because, especially like if I let my hair grow out too long and I have a hat on, I'll start to get wings and shit on the side that'll start to curl up and look like freaking stupid meat hooks at the Hewitt family house.
Yeah.
So, other than what we've already discussed, was there anything else specifically that you did not care for about this movie, other than the obvious name changes and the Blair Witch ripoff
I
with an
mean,
ending?
the fact that they continued to make more movies and just decided to not. Like, I hate it when they do a remake of something and then fucking just drop it. Like it never even fucking happened.
Yeah, because everything that came after. So I'm not going to assume that everybody has seen everything that came out after 2003, but
Right.
um, I will definitely go ahead and say this. You have to have a PhD in timeline differential to
For
understand
real.
where all of these movies come into play. Like there, after this movie, after this specific movie, 2003, there is no. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I might be, but there is no more movies that come after this per se in the
Of
timeline
that line, no. Of that line, no.
of this storyline. No, none.
None.
Freaking
No.
the next movie comes up after this is Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning, which goes
Right?
literally all the way
All
to
the
the
way back.
like to the moment of bleh, all over the freaking slaughterhouse,
Fucking uh,
and yeah, Jordana Brewster trying to rip off Jessica Biel and not achieving that level of hotness. I will just go on record and say that right now. But um, and then you have what led I think two more sequels I think that came after Beginning.
not
I think it's
100%.
two. Yeah, I don't have the information in front of me,
I'm
and
I'm 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 a f- I'm a super fan, but I'm not like that big of a super fan. I'm
and
the original. I'm an original series super fan myself personally.
so definitely Texas Chainsaw tried to um, tell
Too too much. Just
the
tried too much.
well. Okay, so I actually
I'm
have a
sorry.
good. I have a good metaphor, I think, for
Ooh yeah.
this what what they tried to do after Texas Chainsaw McConaughey. Um, I think New Line tried to, and well, anybody who came, I'm not sure if all the movies that came after were all New Line or whatever,
I don't
but
think so.
either way, Netflix is involved in this hot garbage somewhere too, so some of this
Fucking
falls on them.
Netflix. Yeah, no shit.
Um, but everybody that came after McConaughey and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I feel like they told the audience and the world, and especially the Akkads, if you know horror movies, you know where I'm going with this. That I see what fucked up horseshit butt fuckery you tried to do with the Halloween storyline. I'm gonna go 10 times better. So hold my damn beer and see what we do with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre storyline. And they went and totally back and forth, up and down, and sideways, and diagonal wise, and slant ways, and all of that with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And it's like, okay, for one, you people are not George Lucas trying to go back in time and pick up the beginning of a story that he wrote a long time ago and make sure that it gets to be told as well.
Right.
That's fine. If that's what you want to do, then go back in time and do that and tell your damn story, and then just leave it when it matches up with Toby Hooper and his vision.
Right.
Don't be freaking all the way, you know, reboot the middle part, then go even further back in time. Now back into the freaking future, and I swear to God, if they'd done Leatherface goes to outer space, I'd have freaking New Line Cinema would not have liked to see me if they had gone down that road. I'm
Dude, I
just
think
saying.
that I would have. I really think that I would have. I would have fucking totally watched it just to see what they would have done with it to make it make sense.
Oh, I would have watched it because I had the same opinion on Jason X going into that as well, where it's like I'm pissed off that you're doing this, and it feels very stupid to me. But I'm stupid enough that I'm still going to go out to the Blockbuster and pick up a copy of this movie, rent it, bring it home, put it in my DVD player, and watch this freaking garbage. And I did.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, enough to where it made me feel like I have to own the whole franchise. So this is a part of the franchise. So I will buy it.
Right.
It's not something I go out on a regular basis and seek out. Ooh, I haven't seen this in so long.
Right.
I mean, we've done the first three Friday the 13th movies, and there's a reason why we've stopped at this point and not gone deeper into the franchise.
Oh no way, dude! Like the later ones are some of my favorites, man. For real. I will gladly pick up that mantle and take it with you. Like, dude,
So
for
we
real.
we will we will do it, but I will spoiler alert right now for the fans, and I'm not going to give away plot for the movies as much as I'm going to spoiler alert this podcast. We're going to get to if we're going to do this, especially as you know, you, me, and Amanda goes because we haven't made that announcement yet, and we briefly touched on it in the anniversary episode. But
Yes.
if we're going to do that, there's going to be movies that are going to get discussed that some listeners may see another side of my opinionated voice that they're not accustomed to seeing or hearing because there are certain movies in this franchise that I feel are on the same level as Halloween Ends that were
Huh.
advertised to be something that was not delivered or was delivered in a very minimal 10-minute segment of a 90-minute long movie. Not saying what that movie might be or might not be, or where it is set and what mode of transportation it's set on a trip to a city that, fuck it, I'm just going to say it. I'm not going to have a very favorable opinion of Jason 8, Jason Takes, or, Nightmare, or Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, because that shit, false advertisement all over the place.
But that's one of my favorites. Just because it's so dumb.
It is so fucking dumb. It really fucking is.
But
I
it's
am not
so
going to stand it.
great.
So when we get closer to that point, um, so I'm willing to throw this out here for everybody right now that um, pause and I feel like we're right at that point now where we should get to the review and the rating portion of the show.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
before I do that though, we're going to take a pause for a brief moment, and we're going to officially make a loud and proud announcement because I don't know how loud and proud it was last week when we recorded the anniversary episode. But going forward on an evening at the movies, there is a trio of great, great movie fans who love a specific genre of movies. And for those of you who don't know it, that would be myself. Hi, my co-host Amanda, who is recovering and will be here in a couple weeks as we launch the first portion of this vast entity. But also, we are joined in this for lack of a better term, squad by the man to my um, on camera left, Mr. Chancy Greif himself. And as much as it needs to be said, I'm ripping this off 100% from a cheesy but great 80s teenage horror classic, The Monster Squad. Myself, Chancy, and Amanda are forever going forward to be known as the Horror Squad.
Yeah.
So we
Wolfman's got nards.
will. I feel like there's a good joke in there, but I'm actually going to save that for our debut together as a whole, because the other part of this announcement is once Amanda is back and settled into being back in stateside, our very first episode together as the Horror Squad, we are going to be re-examining, because we've already discussed it at least once on the show, I believe. But we're going to go back to 1978 and talk about John Carpenter's classic Halloween. So that will be your first episode with the entire horror squad together for the first time under that umbrella. So we are happy and excited to be bringing that to you. My other idea that because we kind of sort of discussed it, and um, my thought is what I would like to do then, since we've done one, two, three already, I'm not going to throw them away in the library. They're still out there for people to pick up and listen to. But I think as the horror squad together as a whole, because going forward, I think, especially with like next year and us looking at Nightmare on Elm Street, starting off looking at Halloween as well. Amanda hasn't been here necessarily for the whole Texas Chainsaw thing, but
Right.
I feel like as far as like the big three slashers go, like there's absolutely no reason why we can't, as a group, basically pick up the mantle and go Halloween one, Nightmare on Elm Street one, Friday the 13th one, and just sporadically throughout time work our way as a group through the OG great slasher franchises. You can even probably even throw Scream in there and do it as a whole as well.
Yeah.
So just an idea, and
I'm down.
it's I figured you would be, and I figure Amanda will be as well. But it's something that going forward we will be discussing, probably a little bit before we record that Halloween episode, and we may make that announcement coming forward or going forward with everybody on that episode. So I need to stay motivated to have that written down so that we can do that. But so overall, your review of the movie Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003, Jessica Biel style, and on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being hot garbage and 5 being Toby Hooper master version or vision. What are your thoughts of Jessica Biel? Well, time out. Jessica Biel style, not Jessica Biel as an actress or a person.
Right. Okay. Um, I'm gonna go with 2.5 broken doors that nobody got fucking called out on. That's fucking bullshit. Like for
uh,
real.
yeah, that really was an epic moment in the original movie, and how do you let that go? You really can't at the end of the day.
No.
Um, it's not by any stretch of the imagination my least favorite remake of all time. I'm not a big fan of remakes, and I will say that until I'm blue in the face. it's not the most perfect remake either by any stretch of the imagination. There's a whole lot of stuff that got changed or left out, and it almost feels like I said earlier, maybe New Line didn't get all the rights that they needed, but shame on you, New Line, because if you didn't get all the rights, then you should have just left it the fuck alone.
Fuck yeah, they should have.
I'm gonna go. It's still something I enjoy watching, though. At the end of the day, it's like it's not horrible. I don't know what number I'm. I'm gonna go. I'll go 3.5 well hidden revolvers out of 5.
Oh, shit.
I had to come up with something, and I'm not gonna lie, Chancy's scale kind of sort of came out of left field, and I'm gonna rip the bandit off and try and go bigger. So yeah, well hidden revolvers, 3.5 out of 5. So
Yeah, dude. They ain't bad.
like I said, it's not a horrible movie, and especially if you haven't experienced the original franchise, then it's something you could pick up and watch and probably enjoy as just a casual fan. So
Yeah.
go seek it out if you want, or whatever the case may be. Um, as always, we can't wrap up an episode and say goodbye without multiple steps to go through. First and foremost, though, being the fans. You guys are incredible. You guys and your support of the show, as everything is booming right now on the YouTube channel with all of that. I appreciate you guys so fucking much. I would love to see our subscriptions go through the ceiling. And in case those of you who don't necessarily know how that works, all that is basically clicking on the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you, as far as I know, it doesn't cost you a damn penny. It's just a way of showing support for the content. And once an evening at the movies gets to a certain point, then because of our subscriptions, we can actually start raking in the moolah hand over fist.
I heard that I heard you if you say this, and I'll do it for you in just a second, that the algorithm will automatically cause something to happen to remind them of this as well. So hold on. Like and subscribe. So you'll
Definitely.
have, after you load it, go back and watch it again, and then get to this point and see if it fucking automatically does the thing. And if it does, then you can just do that, and it'll fucking do it so you don't have to.
That's actually kind of convenient. I'm gonna do that. So, but yeah, listeners, always thank you for the love and support. Thank you guys for being here for definitely over 3 years now, 200 some odd episodes. As always, thank you to my amazing horror squad cohort, Chancy Greif, for being here.
Hey.
And while I'm thinking about it, um, I'm going to turn the floor back over to him so that he can bid adieu, as well as shamelessly plug anything that he has out there in the dark web that he may or may not want to share. So the floor is
Uh-huh.
yours, sir. Aha!
Uh-huh. All right, so you can find me on Maniacal Music Musings on Spotify, YouTube, and then on Facebook in the Facebook group, which is the Uncensored, Unapologetic, and Untamed U Cubed Collective, or whatever it's called, like that. On Instagram and TikTok, it's the Red Eye Roundtable. On X, it's Red Eye Table. And tomorrow, well, as of taping, tomorrow, we're doing another live show, and then we're also doing the next edition of the top Rolling Stones Top 500 bracket.
So by the time this episode actually drops, it actually probably will be about time for another Rolling Stone bracket anyway.
Probably.
So, that actually is a proper time travel moment, unlike freaking playing Sweet Home Alabama in 1973 when it didn't come out until 1974. So,
Mm,
bam, Michael Bay and New Line Cinema for screwing that up.
no
But I digress.
shit.
So, definitely check out Chancy. And Chancy is always back on An Evening at the Movies and welcome back anytime that he wants. Everybody knows this. Chancy does great numbers of listens and views every time he's here. So, I am excited for everything going forward, both Horror Squad wise and having Chancey on even individually or with me and Amanda not doing horror. It's always great times when any of us or any combination of us, because there's so many left and right and up and down and ooh, gee, Lord, we make podcast magic like there is no tomorrow. So, um, coming up on An Evening at the Movies, we have more movies that everybody should see once in their lifetime at least. If I do this correctly, um, coming out this very same week as this episode, um, at least Chancy and myself. Hopefully, Amanda will be joining us as well for this. We'll also be discussing Natural Born Killers.
Fuck yeah.
So, um, that actually, I believe, is the only thing I have left on my calendar for the month of March that needs to be recorded. So, and then the Halloween thing will probably drop in April, but we've got an episode on A Few Good Men, and I believe Dead Poet Society also in April.
Nice.
Kendra has a birthday episode coming up in April as well. In the month of May, we will be discussing superhero movies. A whole bunch of those movies have already been recorded. X-Men First Class, Superman 78, Batman 89, Deadpool Part 1, um, version 1.0, because there will be another portion to that as well with the senator from the great state of Bastardom, Bubbles herself. So check that out. And then basically this year for the month of summer, or the month of summer of 2024, we're going to be looking at um, movies from the great cinematic month, or the great cinematic. Jesus God, I need to hurry up and finish this because I can't talk. The great cinematic year that is 1984, and we'll be discussing movies like Ghostbusters, like Gremlins, because Beverly Hills Cop has been done numerous times. Um, we'll be looking at Beverly Hills Cop slash Axel F, otherwise known as Beverly Hills Cop 4. Um, Footloose will be coming up as well. And as well, we're letting the fans pick movies to fill out the schedule, as well as myself, Amanda, and random experts slash guests will get to pick episodes to go on the schedule as well. Chancey will be one of those coming up, and I'm officially inviting him to make a selection for the month of August for a reason that shall be discussed off air. I
Okay.
digress. I digress, though. But we've got lots of big stuff coming up, and then coming out of the summer, we'll be going into Stephen King Birthday Bonanza 4, Halloween Horror Fest 2024, and all of that greatness. It seems like already we're working ourselves through to the end of the year, and we're really not even through the middle part of February yet. So I can be kind of OCD with my scheduling. Don't hate the player, hate the game. So, but definitely this was a lot of fun. I look forward to, yeah, I will say I look forward to the beginning as well.
Ooh. If you want a good
You know,
meltdown, have me on that one.
w- we're not doing Texas Chainsaw beginning without you.
Oh no, I thought you were
Beginning.
talking about The Exorcist. The
Oh no,
the
we can do The Exorcist as well. I you
the
know
new one, that is the newest one, Believer.
I might have to put that on the schedule for October when we get to Halloween Horror Fest. I'm not gonna
Because
lie.
if you want a good meltdown, I'm your Huckleberry.
He really is, and you guys have been here long enough and seen and listened to enough of his episodes to know Chancy's meltdowns are fucking amazing. So definitely the Believer has a very, very, very good shot of going on the schedule for October, unless somebody comes up with a better idea between now and then. I'm pretty sure it isn't going to happen, but I digress. So definitely thank you, listeners, for being here this week. Thank you, Chancy, for being here this week. And at the end of the day, Amanda, hurry up and get your butt back here so we can do this Halloween revisit. I am ready to go and get this shit off and kicked off. So, but, and also at the same time, I'm sick and tired of doing your damn job. So get your butt back here and do this part so I don't have to remember to do it every damn time. But um, love you, miss you, glad you had a good time. Sorry you fucked up your ankle. But at the end of the day, we hope you guys all come back for an evening at the movies. Have a good week, guys. We'll see you next week.